Hey everyone, and Happy New Year. I cannot believe it is 2019, but I am excited to start off this year. And I have a quick message and an invitation to our Lifehouse ladies. I've been thinking a lot about what I want to see God do in 2019 and what kind of things I want to see God change in my heart. Maybe you're sitting there thinking about how you want to grow or what burden you want God to lift, or maybe you're waiting on something from God and you're praying that 2019 is the year that He answers that particular prayer. But there are some things in my heart that I'm desperate to see God work. As I look back on 2018, I think the biggest area of growth in my life was in the area of prayer and the discipline of prayer, and seeing God work in me and through my prayers. And it has just been an awesome experience to see God in such special ways because of prayer. And as I was doing my quiet time over the Christmas break, a particular story came across my path 3 different times in 3 different books that I was reading, one of them being the Bible, and then in 2 other books that were completely unrelated shared this very same story. And I just felt God prick my heart as I was reading it. And it's the story about Peter when he's in jail. And it takes place in Acts chapter 12. And it says, the night before Peter was to be placed on trial, he was asleep, fastened with 2 chains between 2 soldiers. Others stood guard at the prison gate. Suddenly there was a bright light in the cell, and an angel of the Lord stood before Peter. It goes on in verse 11 and says, Peter finally came to his senses. It's really true, he said. The Lord has sent an angel and saved me from Herod and from what the Jewish leaders had planned to do to me. So when he realizes this, he went to the home of Mary, the mother of John Mark, where many were gathered for prayer. So I read that story 3 different times, and the same thought crossed my mind. It was the middle of the night. An angel rescues Peter from jail, and he goes to find brothers and sisters in Christ praying for him. They were praying. And as I was sitting there, I thought to myself, I have never prayed through the night. I've never stayed up all night just to pray. And here I am thinking about 2019 and knowing many of the stories in our church family, knowing many of the burdens, many of the desperate stories and the desperate longings for God to reach into circumstances. I thought, why have I never tried to pray through the night? So ladies, I'm inviting you to an all-night prayer gathering on January 18th. It's a Friday night. It's going to start at 9 p.m. It's here in my home. You can wear something comfy. I've been praying about and thinking about how this would look because I've never done it. And I just, as I prayed, I feel like God has ordered my thoughts. And what we're going to do is we're going to meet at 9 o'clock at night here at my house on January 18th. We're going to gather and fellowship for about an hour from 9 to 10. From 10 to 11, we're going to spend some time just talking about where we are, what we need to see God do in our hearts, where we're struggling, where we're desperate, what we're asking God for in 2019. Maybe it's for your family or your marriage or your community or Lifehouse Church or for the lost. These are the things we're going to be praying for through the night. So 10 to 11, we're going to spend time talking about where we are in our hearts before the Lord. And then 11 to 12, we're going to spend time just talking about who God is and what He promises us through prayer and what He's already done in our lives. We're just going to reflect on that and prepare our hearts to pray following that time of praise and thanksgiving and worship. I'm still working out the details as to how we'll break it down, but 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. We're going to spend those hours on different things that we'll be praying for. There'll be someone who will start off the hour with a thought or devotion concerning what it is we're getting ready to pray for. And we're just going to let God lead us through that hour of prayer over those certain things. At 5 o'clock, we're going to finish our prayer time and have some breakfast together, and then we can go on our way. Now, that is an Equip weekend. So I'm going to be heading from here over to Equip and teach Equip that morning. And I just believe that God will give us His favor and give us the energy that we need to continue on that morning. And in fact, I'm excited and anticipating that it'll be a time of just testimony to God's faithfulness as I go to equip that morning and teach. And for those who can head over there from here, I invite you to do that. And if you need to go home and get in your bed, you can do that as well. But I just want to invite you to come and pray with me. I've never done this. Am I afraid I might fall asleep? Yeah. I am a lightweight when it comes to being awake for long periods of time. But I want to do it, and I want to see God more than I want my sleep. So I just want to see God work in our Lifehouse family, in our own lives. And you don't have to be somebody who prays eloquently. You don't have to be someone who prays out loud. You just have to be desperate to see God at work and really want to hear from God. I think that's what drives us to pray. And I want to read 2 quotes to you. I'm reading a book that a dear friend gave me by Andrew Murray. It's The Ministry of Intercession, a plea for more prayer. It says, "Time spent in prayer will yield more than that given to work. Prayer alone gives work its worth and its success. Prayer opens the way for God Himself to do His work in us and through us. Let our chief work as God's messengers be intercession. In it, we secure the presence and power of God to go with us." And then he says over on the next several pages after that, "Let us acknowledge how vain our much work has been owing to our little prayer. Let us change our method and let henceforth more prayer, much prayer, unceasing prayer be the proof that we look for all of God and that we believe that He hears us." And in 2019, I want all of God. I want all of God for the ministry at Lifehouse Church. I want all of God for my family. I want all of God for my marriage. I want all of God for the plans that He places before me this year. I don't want to make my own choices. I don't want to carve my own path. I want all of God. And so I'm inviting you to join me so that we can pray through the night, January 18th, starting at 9 o'clock here at my house. And I invite you to come. And let's believe God for great things in 2019.